This is Adam from Lorna Shore. Be sure to listen to Rockstone. Did I get that right?
Na kus řeči s Frankem.
Nazdar bando, zdraví vás Frank z Rockzone 105 a vítám vás u dalšího dílu pořadu Na kus řeči s Frankem. Dneska moje pozvání přijal Micco, kytarista kapely LORNA Shore. S Adamem už se můžete pamatovat rozhovor z loňského Brutal Assaultu, no a my právě na něj navážeme. Co byste o LORNA Shore měli vědět, je to deathcoreová kapela z Ameriky, mají za sebou několik desek, samozřejmě v České republice už nejsou žádnou neznámou, stejně jako celosvětově. No a my se teď pojďme na ten rozhovor vrhnout. Nice to see you again, Adam.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me back.
And yeah, that's right. I've been doing an interview with Adam last year on Brutal Assault, and we were talking about everything pre-Pain Remains release.
Yes.
Your latest album.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you.
Yes.
There's been said a lot about the album itself. I want to ask you about any specific things, but I want to ask you about the receptions that the album got so far, either from fans and critiques. So, how do you feel about them? And do you read any critics and, I mean, the comments and reactions from the fans?
I think I've learned to not anymore, and I just think for me it's I don't think it's really beneficial to to me to read any of it, like at least for like my sanity. You know what I'm saying? If I like read it and I see something I don't like, it'll change my perspective on something, or then I start questioning myself. And it's just like, I like the record, I'm proud of the record, the whole band's proud of it, and I don't think anything anyone says or doesn't say is going to change that. So if we put out the record and everyone was like, this is the worst record that ever existed, but I still enjoy it, like none of that's going to change that. And I feel like even the same way, like people are saying a bunch of good things about it, like that's cool and all, but like it's not going to change my perspective either way. So I try not to. I mean, of course I see stuff, and obviously people love it. People talk that very highly of it, which is really, really awesome. It was just last year was such a whirlwind of stuff going on, from like a lot of like from festivals last year. Then we like went right to like came back and did like Parkway Drive with Austin not playing drums because he had back problems on that.
Yeah.
So then we had Moke filling on drums. Come home, we were shooting videos, getting ready for tour. So like while all this stuff is like when the album came out, I barely even knew that it came out because it was just like, oh right, today's the day. I had no idea, just because we're so busy last year, and then we went right into tour, and then after tour, like I wanted to break from like the music and the band, so I didn't even really pay attention to it.
By the way, speaking about Austin's problems,
yes,
he had them, I heard, even during the show at Brutal Assault
yes,
last year, which was August 2022.
Yes.
And he already had those problems?
Yeah, it was starting to get like worse. It started from our flight over, like he was having like, his back was like tightening up, and he just thought it was just from like, sitting on the plane and that stuff like that. So obviously, and then it just started going down. And then once we got to like the end of our festival run, we were playing Summer Breeze in Germany, and then like literally like he barely played just because the fact that like he just could not walk, and I was like, you just get through this festival, and then we're done, So it was definitely rough. Yeah, it was definitely a rough point in time.
Well, either way, huge shout out to him that he could like step off,
Yeah.
And huge shout out to Mike.
Yeah.
He had some shoes to fill.
Yeah, no, he basically, and I guess because the fact that was happening on that run, he was already thinking, okay, I gotta help play drums, and again, he was a drummer first, and we made him play bass pretty much.
Yeah, so, I remember that we spoke about it. Yeah. You said that he's like multi-talented, He's playing like everything basically. Now he's doing also backing vocals.
Yes. So pretty much, So he kind of was like on tour, being like, I'm gonna like have to like probably play drums before even Austin finished the tour. He's like already in his mind thinking about it. Plus, like he helped write drums on the record. Like it was like when I was like writing guitar stuff, like it would be him, like Austin and Moke in the room together, and like kind of like writing drums together. So it's obviously he was very involved in the drum process. So him playing drums live, not that it was easy, but he's already familiar with the songs, and we've already like played these songs a bunch. It's not like he's like learning a new song and relearning how to play drums. So Yeah, that was definitely a very hectic time. So when the album was coming out, it was just like, I'm so preoccupied with all these other things that like I cannot even think about like what people are saying. But obviously, like I see some stuff, I see people's reactions. Actually, not too long ago, I actually watched a long reaction video to someone doing all 3 Pain songs, like all 3 Pain videos, and like seeing people get like emotional by it is like really, really cool. Because like, and that's like kind of like the purpose of it. I think that
That was actually my question, because I didn't want to ask you anything like specifically about the album, but you were talking a lot last time about the Pain Remains trilogy.
Yeah.
Saying that it's your favorite.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the first part is very emotional.
Yeah.
Like really. So the question is, was it intentional? Like when you wrote it?
Yeah. So basically, when we wrote it, I wanted it to be like, it was just an emotional time for us. So it's not like, especially for me, like I was.
Can I ask you why so?
Oh, just like I was at a very low point in my life. Like it was just very dark and like depressing and just really like just in a very low point. And it was even harder to even like, didn't make any sense because the fact that like things were going so well for the band, and I was like, all these good things are happening that I've wanted for so long, and then now why do I still feel like in this dark place? And I realized like things like that are happening well does not mean that like that excludes from things from happening bad to you. So like, and that was like the challenge I was kind of going through. I was like, all these good things are happening. Like we released the EP, like we're getting festival offers, we're getting like the Parkway Drive offers. I'm like, all these good things are happening. I was like, why do I feel that? And then that just like the cycle continued, and then being in the studio, having so much pressure, when we went to the studio, where like no songs pretty much written, had 5 weeks to write the whole record, write and record the whole record in 5 weeks, and like it was just like that was just like very like stressful, hard time to like go through. So that's why you can feel a lot of the emotion in the music, because it just like kind of came out like that way, you know. And I think when we were writing those Pain Remains songs specifically, like I remember I was just being like locked in a room, just like really hitting my head against the wall, being like frustrated. I remember I was at the point where I was like, I'm gonna fly home and like find another guitar player, because I was like, I can't do this. Like I was just that like I couldn't deal with the pressure, I couldn't deal with like the stress, I couldn't deal with just like I couldn't get anything done, and I was just like, this is like impossible. And I was like, I'm better served not being here and you guys just like figuring it out yourself. And I ended up staying, obviously, but like that's where my head was at when I was writing those songs.
Wow. I wouldn't expect such mentality from you.
Oh, I mean, it's human though, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing is that like that's the thing is about it all is I think
I'm just surprised.
No, I mean it's I'm very open about that stuff, and I'm very open about like bringing the human experience to like this world, because I feel like there's a big facade of like an image you have to convey, and I don't think like having a human experience of dealing with any sort of thing in a way that you're dealing with it like in a normal human reaction, you know, like how else would I respond to it? Dealing with the pressure of like, if I don't get this done, this record falls through the cracks, and it's just like that weight on my shoulders is like could crush anybody, you know.
Thank you so much for sharing this, because many people are looking at you differently ever since An Hour into Nothingness was released.
Yeah.
And now you are even bigger as a band.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And funny thing is that I saw an interview with a guitarist from Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and he was saying that you paved the road to the renaissance of the deathcore, basically.
Right.
And every other band playing deathcore can now basically fill up the rooms, you know.
Yeah.
It's just because of you.
I mean, I don't think it's just because of us. Like I like this. I like
the majority of the work you did, you know.
The reason why I'm not taking credit for it is because when that EP came out was also at the same time that like kind of restrictions for COVID was happening, so shows were coming back. So I feel like there's also just that whole thing where shows are coming back at the same time as us putting out an album. So I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I'm not gonna take the full credit for it, because a lot of these great bands have existed and they deserve to be playing in front of a bunch of people. And they're either bands we've toured with, bands we've looked up to, bands we've, you know, and I don't think that we are the only band that's like paving the way, because that way has been paved for us before that. So, and I think that we're just kind of going down that same path. And if people are coming along and open to it, I'm totally cool here for it.
I think I chose the wrong words.
No, it's okay. But the thing is, a lot of people do say that, and I want to like set the record straight that I don't think myself or the rest of the band sees it like we're paving some sort of way. Just more so we're just doing what we're doing, and if people come and show up, they should come and show up, and I hope by like coming to see us, they see all these other great bands that we are friends with, that we've toured with, that we also happen to enjoy. And I think that's just better for like extreme music in general, rather than be like just good for like Lorna Shore, because it's not, you know.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And I was mentioning that you got much bigger ever since like releasing the previous EP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what changed inside of the band? Are there any changes, like, I don't know, manage-wise, logistically wise? Because you're playing bigger shows, bigger headline shows, in bigger venues. So is there like a different mentality, like prior to last year?
So I think last year, well, the big difference it was that we were trying to fit so much stuff in such a short period of time. Whereas now I think we're a lot more like prepared. So when it comes to tour, we're way more out in front of things. When it comes to like writing a record, we're way more out in front of things versus like we're so used to doing things like up until like last year, like, or through last year, just like to the, like the, at the 11th hour doing everything. So it was just so stressful. It was so, like frustrating to try to get all this stuff done in such a short period of time, you know? Even like on that Parkway Drive, like tour, we're like in our first ever arena tour, I couldn't even enjoy it because like I'm sitting there getting off a stage, sending emails to do like music video revisions. So I'm just like rushing off stage so I can send this email because of like time zone differences and being like, all right, it's like 8 o'clock here, so I need to like write this email now because like I want to make sure it gets, this person gets it before they like leave the office or stuff like that. So it was just a lot of like work, multitasking, doing many things at once. And now we're not really doing as much of it. We're trying to refrain from doing it because it just feels like it takes away from the whole element. But internally in the band, I think we're all the same. We've always been the same. We're the same, like we have the same dynamic. We don't feel any differently about it. We just enjoy doing this and it's just fun. You know, the fact that we get to play music and get to go play shows to like people and go to countries we don't really get to go to, like that in and of itself is a gift regardless of like how many people show up to do it, you know?
Prior to that, I have to ask you what's next with LORNA SHORE, because so many people are asking for your headline tour across Europe.
Yes.
It hasn't happened ever since. I don't know when, if there was any European tour, like with you headlining. I don't think it was.
No.
But I think that now is the right time.
Yes, so we've never really headlined Europe because we didn't really play Europe a bunch. So the first time we ever played Europe was in 2017. We did Never Say Die. And that was our first time ever in Europe.
It was?
That was our first time in Europe.
What was it? So I saw you like every single time that you were in Czech Republic. Wow.
Yeah, like literally, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were like in that little like bunker downstairs. Yeah, I remember being there. And
with those shitty stairs.
Yeah, it was the worst load-in ever. It was absolutely terrible. But that was our first time in Europe, and then we never came back again till 2020. And that's when we got sent home because that's when everything was shutting down. So we only played a couple shows, like a couple Germany shows, and then we got to England, and that's when like all the stuff was happening. So we had to like fly home. So we only played a few shows, and then our next time in Europe was festivals and Parkway Drive. So we really haven't played Europe enough, or we haven't felt we played Europe enough to be like we should go headline. And I think so I think there is a chance that we'll be headlining in the future. I just don't know kind of when. But I think we're definitely more likely to now. I think we feel a little more confident after being here so much. But I think up until like last year, we really didn't hit Europe enough. So I was like, going out and just headlining I don't know if it makes sense. We should definitely like, plant ourselves a little bit more. And I think, after doing Parkway Drive, after doing these festivals, I feel a little more confident doing it. So I think that might be something that we may do in the future.
Because picture is, you were playing today as a second band of the whole festival.
Yeah.
Crowded.
Yes.
Last time on Brutal Assault, basically we were playing the second day, I think, and it was during, I think it was 2 p.m. or something.
Yeah, like the middle of the day.
Crowded.
Yeah.
The tour with Parkway Drive,
yeah.
You were playing as the first band, right?
Yes.
There was you, Wash Sleeps, and Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
You were playing in the arena. Everyone was shouting your name.
Yeah, no, it's
first band.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was a first for me. I never heard that. Wow. So I think that now is the right time for
I think there'll be a point in the near future. I just don't know a matter of exactly when.
Yeah. Okay. So, and apart from that, is there anything that fans of LORNA SHORE can look forward to? I mean, you released new music last year.
Yes.
You're touring right now. But apart from that,
I mean, as far as right now, we're just pretty much just trying to tour as much as possible, go to places we haven't been. I think we played in Europe a bunch last year, but it was pre-Pain Remains. So it was like we were playing some songs that came out, but the record wasn't out yet. So I think now it's more so, now that the record's out, it's just trying to get to everywhere we can get to. So that's kind of been the motto right now is to tour everywhere pretty much. I mean, I know we're starting to consider, like as I mentioned before, trying to be out in front of things, starting to write, because we don't want to do what we did last time where it's like you're writing everything in the studio. So we're starting to like work on a record, but a new record's not coming out anytime soon. So right now it's just pretty much touring. I mean, we're here for festivals and we're just gonna be touring a bunch, So I mean, trying to get everywhere that we can get to. So
That makes sense. And I have one last question for you, which is, I think it could be either easy or hard.
Sure.
What's the last, or what's the best thing that happened to you in past few months? And it like, either from the music part or your personal part. What's the best thing that you would pick?
There's so many good things that happened recently.
The best one.
The best one? It's definitely not musically, because I think the best thing that's happened recently is being able to take a break from music. The first 3 months, we kind of had a break for like the longest break we've had, and being able to just like focus on our personal lives. So obviously me being able to settle down, have a relationship, like buy a new car, like move to a new apartment, like just like stuff in my personal life. So I think those are the best things that happened recently. I would probably say being able to settle down, have a relationship for the first time in a while is really nice, because I'm not like busy like I was the past few years. Yeah.
And you look happy.
Oh, I'm definitely a lot happier. Yeah, definitely a lot happier. Yeah, definitely not stressed up to like my neck in like work. So yeah, definitely, I would definitely say like being able to just have like a moment in like my like personal life. Like I think I love playing guitar. I love going on tour and like being able to do this, and it's really, really cool. It's just like, it's nice to have
some free time for you.
Yeah, free time, and like life is about like balancing it all, you know. And if it would just work the entire time, it would make this become frustrating. And I even noticed last year, like I started resenting the band stuff because we were just working the entire time, and I was like, what's this all for? If I'm just working nonstop and I don't get to experience life, like what's this all for? So being able to start off this year and kind of experiencing life, being able to do stuff in like my own personal life and have like move things forward, because like the band, I felt like kind of got in the way with that. I was just like not got in the way with it, but it was just like took a priority. That now it's just definitely nice to find that balance with having a personal life and like doing the band stuff. So I feel like that's the biggest thing that I think that we've taken from this. And also maybe getting my new guitar is kind of cool too. It's
the orange one.
Yeah, yes, that's definitely kind of cool. I've always wanted to break guitars, so I'll definitely put that as a added thing. So yeah.
And we leave it on that. Adam, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate having you.
Thank you. Be sure to listen to Lorna Shore. I said it before, I say it now. Go to their concerts, buy their merch, listen to their music. Once again, thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you.
And I'll see you during the next episode. Thank you. Bye.